I started off my day in Cologne, heading straight toward the cathedral. Right now, Cologne is a pretty lively city with apparently very nice people. Back in the day, it was a pretty big railway hub for industrial. It still is, but it was also really cool to see the difference and the reconstruction after the bombs, especially the ones that were done by the Allies and the Royal Air Force back in 1940 on May 12, as well as the thousand bomb raid that was done on May 30th and May 31 of 1942. Fun fact, so just before I came to Cologne, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, they found 3 undetonated American bombs, and they had to evacuate part of the city to make sure they carefully transported and undetonate those bombs. Then I just took my bike and just rode around the city kind of aimlessly, and then kind of went along the river at a certain point. Since I had an hostel in Bonn, I followed the river down south and just rode my bike all the way there. I visited the outside of the Drakenberg Schloss, then also went a little bit higher toward Drakenfeld. And then I essentially kind of just biked around the city in Bonn, visited some monuments and things were related to Beethoven. In total that day, I did around 75 kilometers of biking, which was a lot, but really fun. So when Germany got put into 4 different zones, and then the western parts of the British, the French, and the American got combined to making West Germany back in 1949. Bonn was actually the capital city of West Germany. Then in 1990, when Germany got back together, reunified, it was then Berlin that became the capital of Germany. The next day I went to Cologne directly via train and enjoyed the bells. Then I went to the Lindt chocolate factory, which was really cool. I then just biked around all over the place, kind of looking at some building, just having some footage on my GoPro, and essentially head out to the train station when it was late. So I was supposed to leave Cologne to go back to Munster at around 10 p.m. But when I arrived to the train station, I realized that it was delayed by over 30 minutes. And then every few minutes it would keep pushing, being even more delayed. I think it went over an hour after a while. And I was supposed to come back in Munster at around 12 or like midnight, but it then pushed until past 1 a.m. and that was quite not fun. Okay, so one funny story that happened, well, not really funny at the time, but I went to a place called Peter Brauhaus, which I wanted a Kolsch, which is just a lighter type of beer in Germany, and it's based in Cologne, and you can only call it a Kolsch if it is made in Cologne. Anyway, I went to the place. It was a very hot day. I think it was over 30 degrees. And I sat down outside, and the server served me. And essentially, I just moved spot to the next table just because the sun was beaming on me and I was just sweating. I just wanted to be under the shade, and there was not a lot of people, so I didn't think it was a problem. The server essentially, she essentially scolded me, saying that it was not correct what I did. I didn't think it was that much of a problem. I felt very bad. Everyone was looking at me, and then I took some beer, just looking at my phone, doing things, but it felt a shame. And then after the second one, because they only serve 200 milliliters, so they're light and they're small beer, but they're really good. And when I went to pay, I took my card, and then she got annoyed that I had a card and not cash, because she had to go and grab the machine, and that made me feel really bad again. And so I paid, and then she directly left, and with a disappointment, or just like not a nice attitude toward me, which was not a fun experience. But I gotta say, the beer was really good. It's just I think it was only that one server that was not in a great mood that day.